And welcome.
That time, it
recorded.
The microphone was on.
To another episode of The Pod.
Hey, it's Unsought Opinions with the boys.
Today we have Steven.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. If you're going to stomp, you're going to stomp. Go ahead and stomp.
And I thought you were introducing me and then I was going to introduce you, but then I thought you were done introducing me. So please finish my introduction.
Steven the Boosh.
All right, and weighing in at 365 pounds, 4 foot 2 inches, Ben Dub the Willibon.
Nailed it. And now we have Stu the Man, who is new to the pod. He is my longest running, bestest of all the friends that I've ever known.
Hurtful.
He's rubbing my leg. True story.
YouTube subscribers are getting a show right now.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. So what's up, Stu?
Not much.
It almost looked like he wasn't going to say anything. Just shake his head. Nothing.
The astute listeners of the pod will know that there is not actually a live feed of video.
Yeah.
So we're going to need verbal.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I feel like we've had mentions of Stuart on the podcast.
We had one really good one that got deleted.
So you didn't actually tell the story?
Actually, it might have been one of the just rediscovered ones. And actually, we should find that out.
No, that one wasn't. Because that's the one we lost power and it just got completely deleted.
Gotcha. Yeah. Stuart's been definitely mentioned. You've been mentioned.
I definitely remember two things from Ireland.
Of course, the heart rabbit. This is the heart rabbit guy.
And the gypsies.
Rabbit heart guy.
So you might be asking yourself, why is Stuart on the pod? And I'll tell you the answer. We just completed our monthly contest of Unsadies, who had the best write-in experience of listening to our pods. And faithful listener Stuart from the F-Berg wrote in a tearjerker. Stuart, why don't you go ahead and read the story that you wrote?
Just like...
And he won the contest. It was incredible.
It's a great story.
I mean, it's very personal, and I'm glad, it pulled emotions out of you.
Sorry to laugh. It was... But you're right. We should not be laughing, because I
forgot that it was an emotional one.
Yeah, I don't think I'm quite...
You're not ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to talk about it publicly. So we can talk about it.
We'll talk. It moved us enough to bring you on the pod.
I feel honored.
My whole idea for the pod was that you were just going to read that story, and we were going to talk about it.
That was going to take the full hour.
But if you don't want to do, I guess this is why we have pre-interviews.
Right. Yes. So, but anyway, so Stuart, what's going on?
Could you be more specific?
All right.
Well, Steve, what's going on with you?
We got to crank that a little bit. Can I retry that? Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Another way.
That's twice you've turned the thing down trying to turn it up. Try it again. There it is.
There it is.
That was it.
How was your week, Ben?
Oh, man, my week was so good. It was very, very short. Seems like it started, and then next thing I knew, it was over, and then now I'm here again.
It's weird. So a little bit inside baseball is we record on a Tuesday, and we would publish it on a Wednesday or Thursday or whenever we could. And now we're trying to get on a course of just publishing it straight on Mondays every day.
A schedule.
So we recorded and then just had to sit for a week before we had the pod posted. So now it's did we just... Because I feel like we just posted a podcast. So now it's how was my week?
We definitely did just post a pod. And also, for those of you listening who don't know yet, we post on Mondays. So keep an eye out.
As long as you keep the little plus on the Apple Podcast or Spotify, however they do it.
My brother, he was talking to me today. He was like, hey, when are you guys dropping another pod? I was like, we did. He's like, well, I don't think to check the podcast app, so you're going to have to figure out a way to advertise to me. I was like, I don't know that we can. If you're not even going to check the app, I don't think there's anything I can do. I can't just hack his phone for him.
Stu, what podcatcher do you use?
Spotify.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
I never use Spotify. Is that because of Joe Rogan that everyone uses Spotify?
Well, he's on everything now, but
he is
probably, yeah.
That's why I switched to Spotify.
Is it more seamless?
No,
Like, would you recommend it or
Apple Pod is the best, I think.
Okay.
Except
I'm doing
for,
great with Apple Pod. That's
yeah,
what I use for
dude.
everything. but-
Apple Pod's kind of the best. They're, I feel like well, I don't know. We don't want to go too far down the hole of trash and different apps that
Right.
use that produce.
They're
our
all great.
pod. They are all great.
They all
That
have a
is
great product.
That is actually true. They are great, but
So your week was quick.
quick. It felt like I didn't do anything. It just worked.
Yeah. I feel like that's how my week. I'm scrambling right now, trying to think of anything that noteworthy that would have happened this week.
How about you, Steve? Nothing.
Man, this is the good stuff. This is why people come for our unsought opinions. What happened this week?
How about you, Steve? Stu, are you? Did you think of anything that happened in your life?
I mean, it wasn't very eventful.
Man, what a crew we got, huh?
We were supposed
just
to go out of
nothing-
town.
nothing-
and
what?
Pod on location in Lynchburg.
Oh yeah,
But it
we
got
were
rained
supposed to
out.
do it. We're still gonna do that someday.
I hope so. It seems like one of those things that we say, hey, let's make sure that we do that, and then we just never go back and do it.
Kind of does seem like that.
But I hope that we still go because I was pumped to go on a pontoon boat on the river.
Jason, if you're listening, make it happen, Captain. Captain.
Make it happen, Captain.
Wasn't that doesn't even work.
I think that's how I've always said it.
Make it happen, Captain.
No, that's make it happen, Captain.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So Stu, tell us about your week. Did you anything going on with you in your life? Yeah, I know you have a daughter.
Yep. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
She's an infant still or a
15
toddler?
months.
15 months.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
like right on the edge of starting to walk.
Okay.
That's so cool.
She just started like whispering poop and then chuckling. I'm like, "Are you poopy?" And she goes, "Poop."
We have I guess 18 months. He'll be 2 in August. And he has also started like he just starts saying like poopy. Like, oh gosh.
That's so weird.
Cherish these times.
But he just started laughing at farts, which is the best.
oh
Like,
yeah, I love it.
It's like yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, that's cool. So we all 3 have kids probably within 6 months of each other.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Mine's a loner, so he doesn't really count, but he's still here. You know,
He's a loner.
he's a loner.
Oh, yeah. On loan. I got you.
No. He's just really Solomon by himself.
That's what I thought you were saying at first. I was like, I don't get it. He's too young to be alone. But
Stuart,
Yes.
you are one of the most fascinating people that I know, I think.
yeah.
Only because you're so shrouded in mystery. Because you're a man of very few words. Would you agree with that?
I would.
Okay. So far, I think our audience would as well. And I feel like I don't know much about you. So are you okay with us just throwing some questions at you?
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to do like really...
Oh, dude, he can crack every joint on his body. It's insane. Crack your jaw.
Hold the mic up there.
It won't crack.
Yeah. I've been chewing a lot of bubble gum.
Nice.
Push.
Oh, yeah. Push that.
I don't want to push it.
It's disgusting. Yeah, dude.
Okay, so his finger just moved out of where it should be.
It's
His
disgusting.
thumb.
Yeah, I can crack just about everything.
Okay. So, first question, what is your greatest skill? You can't use that one.
Dang. No, I gotta.
He's a filmmaker.
I'm really good at scratching dogs.
Okay, that's good. That'll get you far.
That is pretty solid.
At least with the dogs.
Hopefully not their owners.
He's a filmmaker.
Are you a filmmaker?
Kind of. I saw him
Something
make
like that.
saw him make a
Trying to
claymation
be.
movie when we were kids once.
Really?
Sick.
Oh yeah.
Did you spend like hours and hours on it and then it was like
8
6
seconds
seconds?
long.
Yep.
Was that Parks and Rec? What was it?
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it was. I think it was Parks. I think it was. Yeah. Definitely.
Who?
Yeah.
I'm trying
It
to
was,
think.
It was
oh,
Leslie's.
Yeah. Ben Wyatt when
Ben
he was
Wyatt.
like out of work. He was so proud of it.
And he made the cones of Dunshire.
Dude, the best. Are you Ben Wyatt? Okay.
I think a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Are you? Is he just blowing you up, or are you actually into videography and stuff?
Yeah,
loves
I'm definitely into it. I haven't done, as much as I'd like to.
Okay. Well, cool. We're trying to get a video element really going on this podcast. So,
Honestly, I got like everything we need in my truck right now, just from all the church stuff.
are you serious?
Which is pretty funny.
Is it? Do you own it, or would you be stealing it from a church?
I mean, I maintain it,
Okay.
but
Wow,
I don't
that was
own it.
much better.
oh, sorry.
Okay. What is the most amazing thing you've ever seen?
The eclipse.
You don't
The
speak for him.
the first
Don't
one.
speak for him.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
But he and I think.
I mean, I gotta sift through a lot of stuff.
I know. That's why
Just
it was a broad question.
Most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Don't say your child being born because that's disgusting. We already did that on this pod. We talked about that, and that should not ever be on anybody's list.
Who said it? That was one of their.
I don't think anybody, because we made fun of it so hard.
Yeah. Afterwards, and you hold the little baby in your hands. That's pretty incredible. No?
I mean,
right.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
I think that first sonogram was pretty amazing. Where you,
Stuart.
that giant vein, throughout the whole body. You just see all the blood flowing. It's pretty incredible.
That's cool.
Well, that is kind of cool, actually. Yeah.
Didn't you go to Ireland? Wasn't that
Yeah.
cooler?
Yeah, Ireland was pretty amazing.
There's just so much sentimentality with seeing a fetus. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, dude, we made that. Like that.
That's
That was
disgusting.
life that wasn't there before.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty crazy.
It's gross.
And then even afterwards, we're like breast milk.
Ah.
I mean, that's all they consume, and their body turns it into like bones, tissue,
Yeah.
skin.
And yet, like, also the mom, like, able, like, without doing anything, it just kind of happens.
Yeah, no.
It, like,
Tell me
her
more.
body knows exactly what to create
Oh yeah.
keep that baby alive.
That's man, it's awesome.
And it's delicious too.
I've been waiting to use this. We got a new sound effect.
Wow.
I'm really pumped.
Why are you able to like free range new sounds into the pod?
Dude,
Who's overseeing this?
it's left at my house, so I just work on it. I set the stuff up, and sorry, we can change the sounds, whatever you want, man.
No, that's a good one. We probably
want-
are going to use that one a
You
lot.
want like a baby? That's funny.
That's probably going to be the most used one. Did you change any of the other ones?
No,
That's good.
yeah,
So
because we use the ba-doom, psh, and then like the audience laughing and stuff.
Stuart saw an armadillo in Florida once.
Yeah, and
Pretty
South
sick.
Carolina.
You've seen more than one?
Yes.
That is unbelievable.
Pretty
Well, no.
sick.
Well, I mean,
No, it's the same one.
all the ones in South Carolina were roadkill, but I saw a living one in Florida.
Did you just see it like driving by, or did you actually?
Yeah,
go-
driving by. It was like digging in the ditch.
Oh dang!
So cool.
Would you equate like the
Wait.
commonality of it as like us seeing a groundhog?
I don't know. I'm not in those areas
Yeah, I
too
guess
much.
Just driving by, you saw one
But
time, kind of
I
thing.
hear they're like moving up, and nobody knows why. Like up through the Carolinas,
Dude,
Maybe
so
we'll
they
get
might
him
come here.
are you a conspiracy theorist?
I definitely used to be, sort of. I mean, either way, they're fun to explore.
Okay. What's the craziest conspiracy that you've heard? That that you've heard.
Well, definitely like flat Earth, and I would say moon landing is pretty crazy, but flat Earth
Are
takes
you?
the cake.
Where do you stand on those?
Is the
Moon
Earth flat?
landing. What?
Is the Earth flat?
No,
Okay.
and I
Is
believe
it
we went
a
to the moon.
sphere?
Yes.
Because some people are like the Earth's not flat, but it's just like a contact lens.
Yeah, like convex.
That's crazy. Dude, that's even crazier.
Do you think the Earth is hollow?
No,
Have you heard that?
only in the new Godzilla movies.
Oh, I've heard that was part of it. Dude, do you know Hollow Earth stuff?
I
Like,
do a little
Journey
bit.
With,
to the
like,
center of the Earth.
With it was a World War II pilot who flew down
I'm
to
trying to think of that
Antarctica.
dude's name.
Was it Fravor or was that
No. Fravor
alien
was
stuff?
the alien stuff.
Okay. I can't
He was a colonel, right?
Yeah.
Colonel something.
He was like a colonel in the World War II, and he flew down into like Antarctica, and all of a sudden there's this giant hole, and he flies through the hole or something, and then it starts getting greener and greener, and then he sees like mastodons and like dinosaurs and stuff that he's flying over, and then next thing you know, he's like in the Arctic. It's crazy, and it's like a documented.
Richard Byrd.
Colonel Byrd.
Is
That
that
sounds
who he
weird.
was?
Like a full bird colonel.
He's a naval officer. Yeah, dude, that's him. Richard Byrd Jr. He's from Winchester.
No, he's not.
He is.
Are you serious?
That's what it says right here.
Well, that makes me doubt the whole Hollow Earth thing.
Dude, he went to stinking Winchester? Or was born in Winchester? And he went inside the earth?
So, like, yeah, he said that it's a really fascinating account. but-
Admiral Byrd.
Admiral.
He was an admiral.
So that's pretty big.
That is kind of big.
There's like a heat, like a sun down there that's like a internal sun and stuff like that.
Can I just tell you he won a Medal of Honor? Like this
kinda gives
this
validity.
guy's kind of legit. Look at this list of things. Congressional Gold Medal, Cross, Distinguished Flying. Can't read it from this far. Can you see the list?
You might as well just read it. I can't read that.
Medal of Honor, Navy Cross, Navy Distinguished, Service Medal, Legion of Merit, and all the other ones I already listed.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This guy was a gangster, and he flew.
Does it have the account on that Wikipedia page or no?
I'm sure it does. You guys talk. I'll read about it.
Was he like smoking meth so he could fly long hours?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Because that would.
Can you stop urinating all over this for us, please? This is fun. Like we're enjoying. He flew to the center of the earth. I'm just kidding.
You offended him. Now.
I know he looks offended.
Now he's retreating into his shell.
Well, now
Protected
he.
the first
stopped.
North Poles. Okay.
You got anything for us,
No.
Stuart? How did you meet Ben?
Dude.
We started going to his youth group.
Oh boy.
And our sisters were friends. And then one day, my sister was going over to his sister's house, and I guess my mom just wanted less to deal with, so she's like, "You got to go with her." And then I was scared,
For sure.
so I just brought a bag full of movies
Smart.
because that's all I
DVDs or VHSs at this time?
DVDs.
Dang.
What was it, like 99?
What if you went?
Early
He didn't
2000s?
have a DVD player. You would have just been the show-off kid.
Wow, I never thought of that.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not usually
Your whole
really
relationship would have
prepared.
been destroyed because he would have thought you were uptight and uppity and
He
everything.
made me watch a anime.
I didn't make you.
Well, I wouldn't have
It
watched
is-
without you.
Pretty hilarious. Like, well, I got this anime.
It's like rated
Okay,
R with
let's
like
watch it.
crazy content.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. He liked it, or at least pretended.
No,
really
I liked it. I
good.
liked it enough to watch it twice.
What was the anime?
It was called
Berserk.
Berserk. Nailed it.
Oh, I don't know that
I
one.
was hoping we would say it together.
I know like Dragon Ball Z
Mm.
and Avatar.
Is that an anime?
Yeah.
Avatar's an anime? No.
The Last Airbender.
You're thinking of what?
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Is that that's not anime, is it? That's just
I mean,
Japanese art.
It's like what? It's American made.
Is it?
Yeah. Is that
We're talking about the one with the blue people.
No.
no?
What is it?
It's a kid.
What was that? Cartoon Network.
I think it was Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Is it
It's like
connected to that movie?
no.
Okay.
Avatar is just a word that is like a representation of something else. So it's used a lot for different things.
Yeah, it's like kids who can move earth, wind,
Elements.
fire, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I never watched it.
You didn't? Dude,
No.
it was so good. It's my favorite cartoon ever.
No way.
And I'm not like a anime.
SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Better than SpongeBob. The story on it and everything, it's unbelievable.
What are you talking about?
I hear
right
it's
now,
great.
My wife does not watch TV or anything. She sat through all 4 seasons of it. She was like hooked.
dude? Avatar, or
The Last Airbender.
Dragon Ball. Which one?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay, gotcha. Wow.
Big
That's
Dragon
like-
Ball Z guy too. Growing up, that was where I was at.
Hmm.
You probably weren't allowed to watch it.
I
were
watched.
you?
I don't think I ever wanted to enough to know if I could or not. I'm not sure that's a thing that I was told I couldn't do.
No, I watched baseball.
Yeah. Huh.
I lived in reality. Well, you're missing out. It's great.
Really?
A lot of
Okay.
good video games with it. And not Avatar, but
Video
yeah.
games.
Yeah.
How much of a role do you think video games have played in the decline of our youth?
I think it contributes to the overall picture.
Mm.
But technology as a whole is 100%.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like. Yeah, I think.
I think
it's-
of
that's a good point.
everything that is influencing the kids, the video games are almost. Well, I guess not necessarily, but it would be almost like the least harmful in that
Mhm.
you get these storyline games that take you 35 hours to get through one phase of the game or whatever. And so it's teaching you long-term concentration and everything. Whereas if you look at like TikTok and social media and everything's so quick and segmented bite-sized stuff that no one is having a attention span anymore. So I feel like some video games obviously are quick and like the more, I don't know, like the Call of Duty quick rounds and stuff that you do. But as far as like the story games, it kind of
What
would help
game's
you.
a story game? Do you have any examples of what you mean? I don't know any of those. I don't know any games that take like a long time to play, except for like Halo when I was a kid.
So Halo was a good one. Zelda, all the Zelda games take a long
I never
time.
played Zelda.
My son's playing a Harry Potter game right now. He's like 50 hours in or something.
So when did you start dabbling in the occult?
I knew that was coming. Yeah. Well, it's just
Stuart, do you have any thoughts on this?
Just about video games and the decline of society.
Yeah, dude. Like, is it connected? I mean, clearly there's a decline in society.
I mean, I don't know. Everyone's different. Moderation. Some people can't manage.
Are you a big video game guy or no?
I'll go months and months without playing a video game, and then like for a few weeks or a couple months, I'll just like play something.
What's the last video game you played?
Resident Evil 4 remake.
I didn't know they remade it. That still seems like a really new game to me, like the original.
Oh yeah, GameCube.
Yeah, dude.
I played the crap out of that game.
Is that the GameCube?
That's a GameCube. I probably have that game right now.
You have a PlayStation
I
4?
still like that game has seared so much into my brain of like medieval culture and stuff for some
Oh,
reason. Dude, it's so good.
What do you do in that
so
game?
great.
It's zombies and stuff, but you're like in
Oh.
what Eastern Europe and in this weird town, and everyone's like
Yeah, there's like these
people
Like a
that
cult?
yeah, it's a cult
controlled by parasites.
It's pretty crazy. It's just a zombie game, but again, one of those long story things. Did you ever play
Sleeper
Final
Cell?
Fantasy VII?
No.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a real good one. But again, when like we were growing up, like you would play some video games, but then it was like, okay, Sonic's boring. Now let's go outside and play. You didn't
Yeah.
have these games that you could literally. It would have take your attention span for.
Yeah, you didn't have
6
online
months.
play.
Yeah, exactly. So
Couch co-op.
because of that, we were outside doing other things. You get bored of a video game. No one gets bored of video games anymore. They're too good.
Yeah, dude. When I was playing video games growing up, like Sega Genesis, it was like there was like a internal clock in your head when it's like, okay, now I'm done doing this thing, and you just had to go.
Right. Like trying to explain to my kids Mario Brothers, where you would get 8 levels in and die, and then that was the end of it. You had to start from the beginning. Like,
Yeah, it's
there was no saving games or anything. They were like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know that like I logged a lot of time on Game Boys with like Pokemon and stuff. I was a
Oh,
big-
Did you have the magnifying glass thing? like folded down.
Dude, you know what's crazy is that and I'm getting real.
So
I'm
funny.
showing my nerd right now, but like
Oh, you've been showing you guys. Yeah.
the Game Boy is so frustrating because you'd be playing and you'd have to get that magnifying screen with the light, but if the light burned out, it was like good luck after the sun goes down and you're in a car because you're not playing that thing.
Yeah, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Sega in the 80s had a handheld
Game Gear.
Sega Game Gear was so good.
Yeah,
the
dude.
graphics were so good.
It was like playing a Genesis.
Yeah, the screen was self-lit and everything. It was unbelievable. And 10 or 15 years before Nintendo could even do anything. You know, Sonic, the Nintendo could not play Sonic on it because it was too fast for the Nintendo system. Yet somehow Nintendo outlasted Sega. Isn't that crazy?
I saw this thing.
That is
He was
crazy.
going into all of that. Nintendo used like older, familiar technology and focused on like making the game and the story and like, you know, making it playable and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sega with the Game Gear focused on the technology, so people didn't know like what to do with it, so they weren't able to make
It's crazy.
the
Okay.
games that great.
So they kind of ran before they could walk, and that
Yeah.
was doomed them. Wow.
That's crazy. Because I do remember, because we had both of those things when I was a kid.
yeah.
In the 90s.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, kind of. Dude. Yeah.
No big deal.
I told you
You
how we-
definitely had a DVD player. I'll tell you that.
I told you how we made money back then, right? Like, you know at least one of the sources of income for me in my childhood.
No, a Game Gear was a quarter.
No, dude, we would sell candy bars. We'd walk around, like, so when you live in the city, it's kind of like, I think I've said this, you can walk anywhere you want, right?
Sure.
So we would just, like, walk down to, like, the strip malls and sell candy bars. We got so good at selling candy bars that, like, other companies would hire us to sell their candy bars for them, and we would just get a percentage. And dude, we made so much bank.
So why were you watching people sunbathe for a quarter?
There's something to do. I mean, truly, like, you have.
I feel like I'm finding some holes in your story.
No, you. What? No, you would get bored. I mean, it's not like I was selling candy bars like every day forever. Like, if I needed to save up for something, I'd sell a candy bar.
Okay. I had a story that was going to piggyback on that, and then I lost it because I was being mean to you. And
That's how we got our first Sega. Actually, selling candy bars for. That's how we got into the game. Actually, selling candy bars for my brother's little league team. They had like these like things, fundraiser things, and the winner would get a Sega Genesis. That's how we got the Sega Genesis.
That's so
Genesis,
sick.
because we crushed it with the candy bars.
Can I tell you? So we got a Genesis. It was in like '96, maybe. And
Oof, late to the game, bro.
yeah, dude, I know. We
Come
we grew up in a trailer park. What were we gonna do? So
Did you guys have electricity?
sometimes,
Is that true? Sometimes.
no, we had electricity.
Oh, okay.
We didn't always have running water just because it was bad pipes and stuff. But we had electricity. Weird.
Would so when you would lose water, would you have to then fix the pipes, or would they just work occasionally? 'Cause
I don't
that's-
remember what
that's
happened
mysterious.
with it, but I remember having to fill up like water jugs behind the 7-Eleven with their hose.
That's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah, it is
I want to hear more stories from your childhood. That's fun.
But anyway, so my aunt, kind of, it was like my cousin, but she's older, so she's my aunt. I think this is the true story. She bought us a Sega Genesis, and they wanted it to be a big surprise. What we were fed was, oh my gosh, this fell out of Santa's sleigh, and we found it on the roof. And my dad went outside and made this production and came and brought in this big box.
Your dad's
And we
so
opened it
cool,
up,
man.
and there was this Sega Genesis. So the entire time we had the Sega Genesis, I'm like, there's some kid in Thailand who's ticked right
Yeah.
now. So I always had this like guilt about this, this Sega. Eventually, they told me, it's like, no, your aunt bought it. But I think maybe my parents saved up and bought it. I don't know. I was, 5 or 6 years old at the time. So,
Oh, dude.
but it was, yeah, dude, getting that Sega Genesis was like,
Yeah, I mean, that's like next level, dude.
it was incredible.
I remember when PlayStation 2 came out,
Dude, yeah.
and we first got that. I think like this is how it kind of works for our family. Like after the candy bar boom of the early 90s, we had the lull of the rest of the decade, right? And so like PlayStation, so our our video game console acquisitions were always one behind. So like
That's how-
like,
yeah.
we would get the PlayStation 2 when PlayStation 3 would come out.
Right.
Yeah, that was fun.
I remember one Christmas we got the NES from my aunt.
Which one's that?
The
The
original
first-
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nintendo Entertainment System
Oh,
with like, I feel
The
like
duck
20
game?
games.
Did you have the Mario Brothers Duck
Oh, yeah.
combo with gun?
Yep. We got that one Christmas,
Living.
and like that very night, we saw a commercial for advertising the brand new Super Nintendo.
Dude,
Dude,
that
that's
is
my life,
so
too.
funny. That's what's so weird now is like they're like we're still on the Xbox
Yeah.
S,
Like, how old is that thing?
but you gotta do a software update for it or something.
what's the Xbox S?
I don't know. It's a Series S or Series
Yeah.
X. There's
I lost-
something.
I lost track of the Xboxes.
Yeah. Or like PlayStation was PlayStation 4 for the longest time. You just do updates on it or whatever. But that's what I was gonna say. The Sega Saturn, or no, Sega Dreamcast. Did you ever have a Sega Dreamcast?
Yeah.
They were the loudest system that you would ever get because it's like, you know,
Oh,
when you have
yeah.
like your old CPU and it's playing a disc and it's just like, and you hear this disc spinning and whirring and then not whirring and then stuff.
Wow.
You didn't know that? You
No,
never
I
heard
don't
that?
know.
Okay. So anyway, the Dreamcast was like that, but it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It
You
had
just
like
hear like the motors going crazy.
Crazy Taxi, the coolest Sonic games ever, where it's like a third person like Sonic World and stuff that you can walk around in. And then they had like a memory card that plugged into it that you could actually take out and play the memory card like a little Game Boy.
Dude, why were they so tight? Why was
They were
Sega
so
gangster,
awesome.
man?
They were the first ones with CDs with the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
But nobody knew about it. And I guess what Stuart was saying.
We had Super Nintendo. I don't know how we got that one, but we got the Super Nintendo, and I remember if you like bumped it wrong, you just like lose all your.
Yeah, dude.
It's like whatever cartridge was in there, just
Dude, we
wiped
would get
clean.
bloody knuckles from our NES trying to like snap that thing down to get it to work.
like you're like blowing it. You're
Spitting
like,
in it all over.
it's like, I think it'll work now, guys.
Exactly. You had to get that snap just right while your hands are in this VCR thing.
Dude, did you ever turn off video game systems on your brothers growing up, Steve? Like in
Dude,
the
I
middle
was
of the
telling my
game?
wife about this. Like, this whole story has morphed so much to. Have
Has
you
it?
heard the
Has it
story?
really? I think
Uh,
you've tried so hard to morph it.
No.
But we keep going back to what actually happened because there was all of us there.
You said I rage quit, which is not the
definitely
case.
rage quit.
What?
You rage quit.
I did. Let me paint the picture. We might have talked about it on the podcast.
We have talked about it on the pod, but this is going to be something that's
It's
debated
gonna
for all of
It's going
time.
to come back. We're playing Super Smash Brothers on the N64, so it's
It's a good one.
time. We're all living together. Ben is honorarily living together. Somehow he was married, but he was always at our house.
It saved my marriage.
So it was at like 11 o'clock at night, and they were like, let's do a 100-man smash. So everyone had, 4 of us,
100-man smash.
have-
We'd only ever heard about such things.
no one had dared.
Nobody had dared to try to do 100 lives per person.
I don't even know if you
4
could do
player.
it. It was maybe 99 live.
Okay. Oh,
Either
sorry.
way.
99.
So it's
I
like
think you're
11
right.
o'clock, and we're like, our eyes were bigger than our stomach, and we said, let's do it. 2 o'clock comes around. 2 o'clock in the morning. This is a weekday. We all have to work in the morning.
We're down
all,
to like in the 30s or
no,
20s.
No, we're not. We're all tired. We're all complaining. We're all saying, like, this is going to suck. But it's like, but we got to do it
Could have paused it. We could have paused
So,
it and come back to it the
I
next
had
day.
said, we're at like 60 to 40 lives. The variance of, I was probably on 40
Wow.
lives while they were at 60. So we still had several more hours to go. Everyone was tired. So I said, I might not be the hero we want, but I'm the hero we deserve. And I
The Dark Knight had just come out.
yeah, it was great. I felt so good to it. And so I turned it off, and I was like, I'll take the bullet. They're going to be mad at me today, but they'll be so happy tomorrow when they sleep.
Still mad.
Fast forward 15 years,
No, not 15 years.
12 years,
This just happened. It feels like.
and now it's Steven rage quit because he was losing,
Dude,
and
he
we
was-
only had 10
He
lives
was
left.
losing. He was losing, and he rage quit. That's the story. All of us remember it that way. He remembers it the other way. He somehow, dude. That's what's crazy about the human mind. like
you
like
guys-
like we can all see what had happened, and then he can like morph that story into him being the hero somehow. You've made yourself the hero in a story in which you are clearly the villain.
Hey, if you need that, I didn't know that it would follow me this long, but dude,
You mean like losing that game
It
probably
was
would have?
crazy.
You just didn't want to be the loser. You're
No.
gonna talk about me losing
My
this
God.
100-man game.
we went back and did a 100-man game and finished it. Oh,
Did
dang.
we really? What was that?
My phone fell over.
Oh man.
I think we did. Maybe we didn't.
Probably not with me. Probably.
Okay, well, maybe we need to call the squad back together.
Yeah.
Stuart, Super Smash Brothers, who's your character? Wait, look, can I guess your character?
Yes.
Okay. You feel like a Link guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah?
That's up there sometimes.
Ness.
Dude, if you're Ness,
were you Ness?
you're an alien if you
I know a guy who was
Yeah,
Ness.
a little bit.
I
I don't
feel like-
think as much as Link.
if you were good with Ness, you were the best player.
Yeah.
Like Ness, if you could use him correctly,
Was
could
the best.
dominate.
Yeah.
But no one knows how to use him correctly. He's too hard.
Yeah. He's too technical. I was the peak, dude. I peaked out.
The chew.
The cheer, dude.
Oh,
So,
nice.
other than Link, who were you? If you,
Samus. That was my
I was
go-to.
gonna say Captain Falcon.
I was a big Samus guy, and then it got boring because I would always win with Samus.
Yeah, dude. How do you? Where did these stories come from?
I'm just kidding, but I truly am like too ADD. So I was okay with Samus. Like I wasn't the worst.
He was annoying with Samus
in our group.
So
I
yeah,
was
he
a sniper.
Pretty, he was
yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
We had a bunch of Kirbys. I started out as a Kirby, but I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
hang, so I moved to Samus, and then that was who I was. But then it would be fun to like try like a Captain Falcon and like branch out and get better with other characters and stuff. So Captain Falcon might be my second, just because he was so fast.
Who'd you play that night? 100-man Smash.
Oh, 100% Samus. Yeah. If it was a real competition, I would go Samus. If it was
Yeah.
like best roommate wins kind of thing, Samus is on.
Pikachu, dude.
Pikachu.
Throw
I
him.
got pretty okay with Pikachu too. Like when you weren't
yeah,
there.
you were kind of jack of all trades on that game.
Yeah. But not good at. I wasn't superior with any. Like you and Jason were the best.
Jaybird with Kirby was a force to be reckoned with. I feel like Kirby's another one of those guys. If you master Kirby,
I feel like Kirby's the easiest to use.
oh really?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
he's
like
he's
it's a
tough
great
because
entry
he
level.
has a low tolerance for damage.
But he can fly. Like if you get blasted, you can fly back.
Yeah,
real
but all
quick.
that requires you to not take damage. Like if you can keep your damage like 70 or less, 70% or less.
Yeah, but if you
then
start
can-
to float away, you can just or break down and you are back in the. I don't know.
Maybe
We're getting real technical for all of our
game like in
listeners
the
that
late
don't.
90s.
It's literally 25 years. Of
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Speaking of conspiracy theories, I heard an interesting one,
Doozy.
and I was gonna say doozy. I was like, I can't make myself. Apparently, there's a conspiracy theory written by Bram Stoker, author of Dracula. He wrote a book in the late 1800s. You've never heard of Bram Stoker?
I've never heard of this.
He wrote a book in the late 1800s about.
Called
I can't remember the name of it, but it was
See,
about
now
all
you
the
can't
conspiracy
remember it.
theories of the time. So a big one that he wrote about that I've heard on a podcast that was really interesting was Queen Elizabeth I was actually a dude. Excuse me. Let me tell you why. So King Henry was her father, right? Henry VIII.
These are the most classic conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
She was actually a man.
But
Still
listen,
going on today.
dude, it's interesting. King Henry was her father who was like murdering his wives left and right. He had a big temper. People were afraid of him. He sent Queen Elizabeth to go to this small town to be raised up away from the palace and everything. There's a lord and lady that took her to this small town and raised her, right? The story is that Queen Elizabeth died at age like 10 or something. And King Henry finished a hunt nearby and was like, I'm going to go to the town and visit my daughter. So the families, or the royal, or the Duke and Duchess or whatever, are like freaking out because they need to the daughter's dead. And so they go through the town to look for a lookalike that they can doctor and everything. And there's no girls that they can doctor. So they find this boy. So they doctor him up. Apparently King Henry was drunk or something and didn't realize that this wasn't his daughter, but it passed. So eventually King Henry dies. And so they have to come up with this.
They had to
girl.
produce the royalty.
Yeah, produce it, yeah. And so they send this fake Queen Elizabeth up the ranks. And if you know anything about Queen Elizabeth, it's said that she has, per the 16th century, what they're saying, this is not me saying, she had none of the weaknesses of a woman in the mind of a man. And
The ultimate woman.
Exactly. She is the one that like petitioned William Drake to be the like start piracy in the Bahamas and stuff and raid all the ships. And she was an incredible leader, but she never had kids. She never got married. And every picture that you look of her, she has her collar sewn all the way up to her chin, which was not how you dressed during the time. So like, of the timepiece and everything,
Cover
everyone
that
was
Adam's
like,
apple, right?
yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Interestingly, 300 years after she died, they went to that small town and found the house that she was at, and there's a cemetery right next to this house. And there's all these grave markings and everything, and there's one unmarked grave that they found. And there's a 10-year-old little girl
No.
buried in the
Stinking-
unmarked
Is this
grave.
That's true? That's verified?
That's verified.
So what about Queen Elizabeth's grave?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
They need to look
'Cause
in
we
there
could
and
just
see if
look
they
at her
can-
bones. His or her bones.
Yeah, see if there's a rib missing. Am I right?
Take that.
So that's kind of like Michelle Obama.
It's a bit like Big Mike, yeah. And
Is that a thing?
you don't know about Big Mike, dude?
Dude, no, I don't know that. Let me know.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory I'm sort of familiar with.
What is it?
I'm kind of on.
Everyone just thinks Michelle Obama's a dude. They
Big
call
Mike
her
is
Michael.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay. She's a
Um,
dude.
Yeah, I never got into it, but I'm a little aware of it.
Let me tell you why it makes sense. There are no pictures of her being pregnant, apparently. There are rumors, I don't know if you heard about this, but like Obama, B-Rack himself, he's kind of,
He plays the other.
yeah,
other
like
side
kind
of
of
the fence?
hardcore.
Really?
Yeah, kind of.
never heard
like
that.
there's a, I don't know if you listened to the Tucker Carlson interview where he interviewed the guy who,
Dude, I'm
Did
hearing
things to
about
him?
all these Tucker Carlson interviews and stuff that he has. I never
Tucker's
listened to him.
unhinged, dude. He goes hard.
That's what apparently.
So the idea is that Barack Obama's gay. Okay, we're just gonna say gay,
Okay.
and his wife is not a woman. Which kind
Where
of,
did he find the two daughters?
dude? It's Washington.
From the little town in England.
Yeah, it's DC, dude. You can get, you know what I'm saying?
Probably bought him from Hillary.
Okay. Wow. All right.
These ones are low on blood, so just let them recharge a bit.
Oh my God. So interesting.
It's none of it's true. I mean, but
Probably.
it's funny.
It's fun to.
It's hilarious.
All right.
Yeah.
You said we did land on the moon,
Yeah, I think so.
and you say,
Oh, I have no idea.
but what's your lean?
Let me just, up until Rogan had that guy on like 3 weeks ago or whatever, doing talking in depth about why he's convinced we didn't go to the moon. Up until that moment, I never even considered that we did go to the moon. Like, I just thought we went to the moon, no problem. But then
Right.
I listened to that interview and I was like, wait, that's like people who aren't insane think that for real?
That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
Because that with the Nixon or Kennedy thing, like I thought that. I mean, that's just like
The Kennedy
typical
thing, are you taling about him being killed by CIA?
Yeah. Which is like
I mean, that's pretty much.
Pretty much
We pretty much know that.
talked. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the moon thing, yeah, forever I was like, that's so stupid. And you hear people like, oh, the flag's waving, and you're like, no, they wired it to wave that way, so it looked like it's waving and everything. But then I didn't listen to the interview, but maybe I was listening to podcasts that listened to the interview and brought it up and stuff. But they were saying like the technology. First of all, the technology that we had to get onto the moon was the equivalent of like a graphing calculator. But they said we can't get back to the moon because we don't have the technology now for it.
Yeah, you should listen to this guy.
Okay.
Do you know what? Did you listen to that, Stu?
No, I haven't heard anything from that.
It's I don't know. The guy kind of comes across a little crazy, but I don't know.
But then, so
He
the
has
other thing is
receipts.
like being able to stream that live is from the moon.
Oh yeah, and like the delay was wrong that they used.
So that was we can't even get a Zoom call like 50 years later.
So there are multiple theories about the moon landing. Like, so there's a theory that we went, right?
Right.
People believe it. Okay, cool. I'm good with that. There's a theory that we didn't go at all and that it was faked, right?
Uh-huh.
And then there's another theory. It's like, yeah, we went, but we faked.
We filmed it here.
Filmed it.
Yeah.
And it was that part was fake, but we did actually go.
Yeah.
So like, there's three different ideas here, and I don't know. I mean, there's some seriously weird stuff with the film, and
Well,
the guy discusses it, and it's pretty intense.
Yeah, I haven't seen or heard any of this stuff from that guy.
They're recordings of Neil and them like practicing what they're gonna say.
Well, they did a lot of practicing. I don't know what all they were doing, but like, to get the camera right, the lighting and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like rehearsing on a soundstage, to an extent. But
Right.
for like the whole event, like film technology was not advanced enough to fake it.
It was not advanced enough to fake it.
But would have been
Yeah,
enough
'cause you'd
to
have,
actually do it from the moon.
Like, there's footage of them flying over and it's looking down at the moon, and like the duration of that, you would need like a massive single reel of film just to like show that.
Well, didn't they film it though? So they would have had that anyway.
Well, that would also mean like the miniature you're filming would have to just be like monstrously enormous.
Well, couldn't it have been? So I want to plant my flag, no pun intended, that we did go to the moon and we filmed it because
Yeah,
I'm
I do. I wanna
red-blooded
believe that.
American, and we
I want to believe that too.
yeah, we can have all the world power because our flag's on the moon. And if it's not, I don't know what we've been doing the last 60 years. But having said that, could it not be that we just did a flyover of the Arizona desert or New Mexico desert, like they were saying?
Oh yeah,
That
'cause
it's not a
that's the
miniature,
theory,
but we're
right?
actually the soundstage theory and stuff was in the desert, and so as we're flying and everything, you know what I mean?
Oh, and then the guy was talking about the shadowing on the moon is wrong, like in the videos. Like if you put up two things, like two bars, you'll have parallel shadows,
Sure.
and they'll never cross. Right.
Right.
On the moon, there's like shadows coming. They're like crossing.
Unless we're using artificial lights on the moon to get the shot, like Stuart was saying.
Right. Well, that brings up another question, because the shot of him getting off or whatever is where the light's in question. So they would have had to have gotten off already, set up the lights over here.
Well, yeah, but they
On the opposite
How would
side
they have
from
filmed
there.
it? Him getting off if they hadn't done that?
Didn't they film it from inside the thing?
I don't think so.
Well, there was one, they had a arm with a camera out. So that's how they filmed
Oh.
him going down the ladder. And Mythbusters did a bunch of stuff on moon landing. One of the things was like the topography of the surface of the moon. So you can have all these like rocks and shapes, and then like shadows lining up, giving it the illusion of, it not being right,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So they thought it was a myth?
No, they thought it was not a myth.
Yeah, so I'd seen so like after the first 15 feet, it looks like the moon just like glazes over, kind of thing. But then that was like explained by it's just a trick of the light, kind of. People were
Yeah, 'cause,
saying,
like,
"Oh, that's
it's like
just
exposure thing.
The background, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That makes
interesting.
sense.
And like their movement, they were not able to replicate it with either like harnesses and wires or slow motion,
Mm-hmm.
and then it couldn't have been underwater because it doesn't look like it is,
They didn't
Dude,
have green
that's
screen
why-
technology.
and
back
all the
then, so-
bubbles and all that.
And
sort
that's
of
why the
stuff.
Patterson Gimlin film is real.
What do you think of the PG film?
I don't know. Like I hear the people say, costume making technology, it was impossible, but they never like explain that.
I
You know,
heard.
So they
because
had
there's
the-
like tons of creative people out there.
The costume designers
Yeah.
for Planet of the Apes were saying we couldn't touch it.
Yeah, but like I've never heard anyone go in depth about that. Like why?
I
like
think
what?
it's because you can
And
see
they talk about things like muscle rippling, and I'm like watching this old grainy footage on my iPhone, I guess.
You think it's like pareidolia?
And I'm like,
kind of
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's
Like,
stuff?
I
You
don't-
want to see the
I don't
muscle
see these
rippling
like
instead of-
little things that they're describing. They'd have to point them out to me.
That's a good point. People swear that she has breasts, and you can see the rippling muscles and stuff, like you said.
Yeah,
I
guess
also
I'm
can't
like,
see
I
it.
think I could.
Like-
They might be boobs.
Sure.
Was there a trail of milk? Am I right, guys?
Ooh. Sasquatch butter.
Ooh,
Oh, God.
squatch butter. That's terrible.
Yeah, guys, I recently,
No, go
speaking
ahead,
of
sorry.
milk, this week, how was my week? We're finally getting back to this segment where I tried out a Captain Crunch off-brand. It was good.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't eat cereal anymore.
I didn't until...
The milk
With
makes
berries?
me feel sick.
What?
With berries?
Yeah. Can you buy Captain Crunch without berries anymore?
I don't even know. I never go down that aisle.
Oh. Gosh, you guys are so healthy.
No, not at all. It's just
We're just unhealthy in different ways.
yeah, dude, crushing it.
It's funny because like I was saying, thinking in my brain, like I'm being so much healthier by I don't know the last time I had cereal kind of thing. But then I analyzed my breakfast and it was always
It's like
eggs and
Pop-Tarts?
bacon every day.
Well, that's not.
The bacon's terrible for you.
But can't you like use that stuff in a way like for carnivore diet? Can't you use it so that like all that fat and stuff is good for your body?
Maybe. I've also heard, like animal fat. We're being told that that's bad for you, but that's a conspiracy. Dude, the rabbit hole is just
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah, it's huge. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe animal fat's good for you, but I just feel like the fat content in bacon is just
It's,
crazy.
dude,
Like the
all
grease and everything.
juice that comes out of that thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna
Like
eat
a
that.
caveman's like, ooh. I don't know. Have you guys watched Fallout, the Fallout show on Amazon?
No. What's that about?
So it's really interesting how they do it, but it's the 1950. Do you know the game Fallout?
No.
Okay. So it's in the 1950s, atomic war actually happened, and a select few people were able to go into these
Bunkers?
vaults
Okay.
and live. And so it's 200 years later, and these people are coming out of the vault to look at the
The
Earth,
same people?
their lineage
Oh.
down. And so they come to a world where there's like normal people still, but it's like the wild, wild west. And then there's also like these, they call them ghouls, that are like mutated people from the nuclear fallout and everything. And so it's just really interesting. But the reason I said that was because one of the ghouls like came in it. He's like a cowboy, what's it called? Like a outlaw. He's like an outlaw in that he's like murdering people and everything with pistols and stuff. But then he kills a guy and then cuts his butt open and makes like butt bacon with it.
Oh,
So
nice.
That's in a video game?
Well, it's a video game, but this is an Amazon Prime show. It's a really good show. I would recommend it if you are interested
I
in
don't
like
know about that now.
yeah.
That,
That's
that
just
may
one-
have sold me to not watch
That's
that.
just one piece of it. But did you like Man in the High Castle? Did you watch that?
I did not watch that.
Oh, okay.
I do like the idea of it, though.
It's cool. It's a cool idea.
a cool
And so like
idea.
this is like you have all this like really gruesome things and everything happening, and all the while they're like playing like kind of like the 1950s.
Yeah.
Everything's still very 1950s. They have like the aluminum lawn chairs and stuff that are sitting in front of all their vault doors and everything. It's just kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
I recommend it.
I might get around to that.
Hey, you won't, but I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not. Dude, I've been trying to get into some shows recently. So I watched the first season of Succession when it came out.
Ooh, I never watched that. Is it good?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. But
That's one with all the rich people?
yeah.
Okay.
But I gave up after season 1 and I never went back to it. And now I have no idea what's going on. So I started season 1 again. And I'm halfway through season 1. And I've been working on it for a month and I've only made it halfway through one season. I just don't have time to watch TV anymore.
That's how it was for me with what's the movie with the lakes?
Lake Placid.
No, not movie. Show.
Dante's Peak. Oh.
Where he moves. It's the
Ozark?
Ozark. Yeah. I watched most of the first season, but then I got married at that point and then just never had time to watch TV ever
I did watch that one. That was a really crazy show.
So we are now finally at a point where we'll put the two younger ones down at 7:30 and 8, and then be like, all right, the older two, you put yourself down at 9, and we go upstairs and I can watch TV. But Amanda's only about Modern Family or New Girl or something, so I don't.
New
get to
Girl's
watch
funny.
New Girl's good, and it just got on Disney Plus because Disney Plus and Hulu and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for a long time, we don't have Netflix, so I couldn't watch it. But so now
I wouldn't show that show to kids.
We don't.
Well, I'm just saying I would.
Oh,
put it
for
on
Disney Plus. Yeah, I think Disney Plus is trying to get into the
adult game.
Yeah, not just little kids.
I mean, that's probably a good move. A lot of us. I mean, the adults are paying for it after all.
Right. And you can do kid profiles and stuff, so they only see content geared towards kids.
Right.
So
my Amazon Kids programming is literally all kids shows that I like watching.
Who do you like watching?
SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
I realized that the other day. I was like, yeah, Bailey's watching SpongeBob, and I was like, is she though? She's sort of playing with her blocks. And I'm just sitting here watching.
You're watching?
Yeah. Because I realized I thought I'd watched SpongeBob as a kid. I watched 3 seasons of SpongeBob.
Dude, the first 3 seasons.
I grew up on the first 3 seasons, and then on Amazon, there's all of the seasons, or at least more than what I'd seen. So I'm now into new stuff, and it's great. It's so stinking funny. It's so funny. I love it.
SpongeBob was so good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's.
Stuart, what was your favorite show growing up?
Batman the Animated Series.
Really?
I could have answered that question for you, by the way. I knew that.
I remember watching it, but I don't remember liking it. Not that I disliked it, but we watched it and
Oh yeah, greatest intro ever.
So good. I loved Spider-Man, but again, I couldn't tell you anything about the show. And then X-Men, we would watch that all the time. They just made X-Men '97, which is they remade the X-Men show that was in 1997, but they're new episodes on it. It's really interesting. So it's weird because I'm remembering all my childhood, kind of the.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
These are all the themes.
What network were those on? Were they on cable?
I think it was a Saturday morning ABC.
Oh,
or
yeah, I remember.
Like
okay, yeah. I don't know.
UPN 20 maybe.
I never got into the Marvel stuff.
Really?
Yeah, maybe either my sister had control of the TV Saturday mornings or I don't know.
I was a big Marvel guy. I still am not a big DC superhero guy, but the Chris Nolan Batman is the best.
What about this latest Batman?
I couldn't watch it. I've tried, but I was on an airplane, so I couldn't listen to it.
Yeah.
What Batman?
The Robert Pattinson one?
That's when was that done?
2018 or something. I don't know. They just
so
they just
it's not
made the
that
second
22?
one. Oh, maybe 22.
Something I don't know.
But it's so dark and uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not one to watch over and over.
Like the Joker,
but it's so good.
Was so good, but it was so dark. It's so uncomfortable.
They're doing another one of that, right?
Yeah.
Doing another one?
Yeah, and I think HBO series with the
Joaquin
Penguin.
Phoenix?
Dude, Colin Farrell's doing. I know that because I have Max. So I watched the Penguin trailer and I was like, "That's Colin Farrell." Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was.
It's a standalone or it's part of.
I don't know.
The Joker.
He's saying
it's like a spin-off series. I think it's his rise to power.
And
is Joaquin Phoenix still in it or no?
No, this is just the Penguin.
Okay.
But that's connected to that universe of Joaquin Phoenix's
Oh,
Joker.
I don't think so at
Okay.
all. That's like in its own little world.
But they're just like we want to really explore these villains,
Mm-hmm.
which is so interesting to me. Like society as a whole, and we're about out of time, but we can just keep
Yeah, just keep
whatever.
rolling.
Like, if you look at any Disney film or any film now, there's no like villain in any kids movie. All the villains are like, I don't know, like we just pour humanity into all of our villains now, so there's no real bad guys. And in doing that, it's like, let's look at life through Joker's eyes and why Joker is
It's
he's
putting the
not
mirror
evil,
up to yourself.
He's just misunderstood. Or Penguin, I haven't watched it, but like doing all these like
It's not out yet.
but like the dark, going into the character of the dark and why they are the dark and stuff. It's just like, I don't know.
Let me ask you
There's
guys
no
this.
longer like good versus bad.
You guys are crazy nerds, right? When it comes to superhero stuff. You said your favorite show was a superhero show growing up.
Yeah.
And I already know the answer that you're going to give me.
All right.
But you would also qualify yourself as a nerd. Well, okay. It doesn't really matter what you think. You're a nerd, right? So,
It's hurtful.
well, no, because it's useful for me right now.
I think it's
Maybe
cool.
you
That's exactly
maybe,
what the bullies told me.
yeah. Maybe you guys can settle this debate that I was having with my little brother-in-law, who his opinion really doesn't matter, but it does right now. Are the Batman villains the best villains of all the villains in all of the cartoon, not cartoon,
All the superheroes?
superhero things? Yeah, he was trying to make the case that the Marvel guys, who I can't even name one, are better. But keep in mind, I don't watch those movies.
Dude, Venom?
I literally have no idea what you just said. that's like another. That's a villain.
It's a Spider-Man villain, but they
Oh my
made
goodness,
several movies with
Spider-Man.
Tom Hardy about him.
Okay, I can name a bunch of Batman villains.
But that's your upbringing. I'm not crapping on the Batman villains. They're
It sounded
really
like
good.
it. Stuart, you agree, right?
100%.
Yeah, it's not. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not.
I thought this was really interesting that so there's like 3 series of Spider-Man films. You had the
And
Tobey
they tried to
Maguire.
connect them. I heard.
Yeah, they did.
Just oh my goodness.
But so like
Just get so mad.
you look at the Tobey Maguire characters and it's like Green Goblin is evil because he took the serum because he was desperate and XYZ, like a lot of backstory. And the Sandman became the Sandman because he was trying to save his daughter. And there's like all these really deep, meaningful ways that they pursue their backstory and everything. And then like you go into
The hero got bit by a spider, and it's like, okay, that's ridiculous.
okay, well, he has to navigate high school and all kinds of
Oh
things.
my
Well,
goodness! Yeah, life's so hard for a kid in high school.
Anyway,
I've had enough of it.
but they then like fast forward to like the Andrew Garfield one where it's like
Oh,
the villain is the villain because no one came to his birthday or something like that. It's just like so shallow and lame.
that was the thing with the Marvel movies. It wasn't the because I like the Iron Man movies were like the ones I liked, and maybe close to the last ones that I watched.
Did you watch the Avengers and stuff or no?
I saw some of them
Okay.
at the early ones, I think, but like wasn't Iron Man 3's villain the Guy Pearce and Ben Kingsley? Right?
Yeah, that was Iron Man.
Yeah.
What was the name of that villain that they were
the Mandarin.
The Mandarin. So the Mandarin, he just got like stood up on the roof, right? He's like, "Hey, meet me on the roof for like a." He's like, "Oh yeah,
Oh,
sure,
yeah,
I'll meet you
yeah.
up there." And he just like forgot and didn't go up there or something. And then now he's like a super villain. It's like, what are you doing? This is what we. You know what? I take it back. Video games have nothing to do with the decline of humanity.
Yeah, but dude, like the Thanos paradox thing is
Oh
so
my
fascinating.
goodness! I got so much. I have to wear glasses now after hearing that sentence.
No, like listen, the fact that Thanos viewed himself as a hero, everyone else viewed himself as a villain. He wasn't like evil. He just thought like a computer. In that, I'm gonna snap my fingers and half of humanity's
So
gonna
like
be gone.
AI, they're playing on the idea of like letting
Well,
AI.
they're playing on the
loose.
idea of are you going to be a pragmatic thinker or are you going to be an emotional thinker? And like what do you fall on? Because some people can absolutely side with Thanos and understand that it's better for humanity we're overpopulated, we're evil, we're like the flood theory, in that we're going to just take out half the population and restart from here. Other people are saying, no, you can't do that. You have to give humanity a chance, and you have to do all these things and grow and build and everything. So, yes, some of them are very not thought out well, like Iron Man 3. But I do think that there are some interesting perspectives and stuff. Dude, I sound like a nerd. I hate myself.
I'm just
Let
sitting
me
here
try.
listening to this, like I cannot believe what's happening. I can't even believe it.
I feel like the stakes aren't that big in the Marvel movies. Like
Okay.
they just kind of yada yada over all that Thanos stuff.
Okay.
Because half of humanity was gone for 5 years, and then they just like call it the blip afterwards.
Right.
I mean, like that's insane. Like there were
It's insane that you guys know what you're talking about right now.
like there are babies in their crib whose parents just disappeared. There were like
Ooh.
elderly
Dude, that's a really
who
good
are being
point.
taken care of. There are people operating on people who disappeared.
It's like the fallout they just didn't talk about and everything.
Yeah, and then it's just like, oh, the blip. But it's all good now.
Yeah. I feel like that snap was the snap of Marvel's goodness. You know what I mean? Like the MCU just like kind of dissolved
Yeah.
after that. Anyway, Batman's cool, Blue.
With very
don't know.
relatable villains.
I just thought that the Joker was tight. Like Heath Ledger's Joker
Dude,
was
Heath Ledger
tight.
is the greatest acting performance of all time.
Mr. Freeze, dude. Are you kidding me?
Dude,
Arnold Schwarzenegger? Dude, come on.
widely believed the worst movie ever made.
The Riddler, Jim Carrey.
Dude, Jim Carrey.
Did you hear the story about Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah, dude, that's
He
wild.
Tommy Lee Jones hated Jim Carrey.
Oh, really? Tommy Lee Jones is a very serious
Like they're working
actor.
on that movie or
But then he was in Men in Black with Will Smith. And he's
Yeah,
been in a
but-
lot of comedies and stuff. But like Jim Carrey apparently
You're right. Can you tell me the story?
I'm sure you know about
I don't
it.
know if it was like sometime during filming or like right before, but Jim Carrey sees him at a diner, walks up, tries to start talking to him, doesn't even look at him. He's like, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
Yeah, see, he's a very serious man. Like if you say
Dude,
if you say
And he
that,
says that and then goes back into the studio and has half his face painted up like he's Two-Face.
he thought he was making the Dark Knight films.
Dude.
He's like, these are going to be dark and gritty. I'm going to really get to sink my teeth into this character. And then he like sees all the other people there. He's like, oh man,
This is
Like,
unbelievable.
What is Arnold doing?
Neon lights.
Is that DeVito? Wait, was DeVito in there?
No,
No,
he,
that's
he was in the
Tim
first
Burton.
one. Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
Dude, that was so gross. I still have like Danny DeVito eating the minnows or
The-
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was the worst. Yeah, when he was a penguin, dude, it was the worst.
Another thing I wanted to point out was that Tommy Lee Jones went on to do No Country for Old Men.
I'm not saying he's.
Which is maybe one of the best movies. Well, no, it's not maybe. In my opinion, it's one of the best movies.
I've never
ever
seen
made.
it, which is crazy.
Oh man,
I know
it
I need
is.
to, but
it is so good.
I know that Tommy Lee Jones is one of the greatest actors that we have.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
But my point is, for him to say, "I cannot
Sanction
your
buffoonery.
buffoonery," yeah, and then go on to do several comedies that he's done, like, what are we doing?
Well, Men in Black, dude. People sleep on that. All three of those movies are tight. The third one was.
Yeah.
I think I saw the
amazing.
Yeah,
third one
third
with you
one.
in theaters.
Real
Well,
good.
it was so good.
I don't remember it at all. I just remember them being like on some sort of beamed tower that's falling or something, and he's like seeing himself in the past.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
I don't remember.
There's
I
some
don't
weird
remember.
thing like that. Yeah.
Well,
At the end.
what was that when they were going to the moon? Back in
They
the-
went back in time, right?
Yeah, they went to the.
But what?
60s.
But that
Was
might have been the moon launch that they
Maybe.
were at. It might have been. It's hard to know. Well, we're clearly over an hour. Maybe we should switch over to the Patreon. For those of you subscribing to the Patreon,
We
We
gonna
will
talk
see
about
you
some crazy
there.
stuff.
It's gonna be crazy.
but I think we settled the debate on who's the best villains.
I just want to point out that I tried talking NFL and the draft and stuff with you guys, and you made fun of me. So I tried to be a sports guy, and it was not reciprocated. So I'm sorry that I can't just talk about only baseball.
Nobody likes the sports as much as they used to.
So what do we like now? We don't like.
I don't know. Apparently, we like conspiracies. Every week, we're talking about some sort of conspiracy that you heard.
That's what sells.
No, I know what else sells. All right, give me that. Well, this week while you're out living your lives, doing your thing, don't forget the words of the great Tommy Lee Jones. This is very serious. We cannot sanction such buffoonery. Blessings to you. And we'll see you next week. Thank you to Stuart for coming on. You want me to end?
I lost my key. I don't know where I'm at.
It doesn't matter. Nobody cares.